Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10.
First at 10, major breaking news in Charlotte, where 3 shooting scenes unfolded in less than 10 minutes. We created this map to show you where police are now investigating. 2 of those scenes are in the northeast Charlotte area, the 3rd in University City. Good evening, I'm Allison Lattis. Medic says in total 6 people were shot, 2 of them killed. We have team coverage tonight as we learn new information by the minute. And we start with Eyewitness News reporter Alexa Ashwell, who is on Spring Garden Lane in northeast Charlotte. And Alexa, police believe this all started when an argument broke out.
Yes, Allison, police have not yet identified any of the people involved, but as you can see, investigators still on scene, and they're focused on that home with the front light on there. Again, Spring Garden Lane. I want to show you video when we first arrived to the scene. Police got the call about a shooting here around 7:15 this evening. When they arrived, they found 1 person deceased and 2 other people with gunshot wounds. Both were transported to the hospital, where 1 later died. Now, a short time later, medic responded to another call at this Shell gas station about a 1.5 miles away. A 4th person shot during this incident had stopped here to get help. That person was also transported to the hospital. Now, in terms of what this altercation was about remains unclear, but police don't believe this shooting was random.
At this time, we're not actively looking for any other suspects than the people that we are aware of at this scene. We certainly don't know exactly what transpired, but we're not actively looking for a suspect.
Again, 4 people shot here on Spring Garden Lane, 2 killed, 2 wounded, 1 critically injured, and police say they are not looking for a suspect. Reporting live in northeast Charlotte, Alexa Ashwell, Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10.
All right, Alexa, thanks. And our team coverage continues now with Deshaun Brown in University City, where another shooting unfolded in the last 3 hours.
Well, Allison, at this point, police told us they do not believe that this shooting is related to 2 others that Alexa just mentioned. We're here at Mallard Creek Apartments in the University area, and this is about a mile away from UNC Charlotte. Emergency crews responded here around 7:30 tonight, and 2 people, investigators tell us 2 people were shot. 1 of them has serious injuries. We've told that person is now in ICU, but was awake. Now, police told us none of the people who were shot live at this complex and are still trying to figure out why they were here. Right now, we're still working to find out what led up to this shooting, but we spoke to a student who had just come home from the library, only to find a crime scene near their front door.
Come home to this, all these camera crews and cop cars in our apartment complex, and just a little worried, just a little shocked what happened, because normally it's pretty quiet around here.
And at this point, police have not released any information on a possible suspect, but we have seen them out here canvassing the complex looking for someone. As soon as we have any updates on who they're searching for, we will bring those to you on air and online. Reporting live in the University area, Deshaun Brown, Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10.
Thanks, Deshaun. And we sent out a breaking news alert as soon as we learned about the shootings. You can sign up for those on our website at WSOC-TV.com. An Arctic blast is barreling into Charlotte right now.
Get you in the Christmas spirit. Can't complain.
But this will mean a very chilly morning for students at the bus stop tomorrow. I'm here in Severe Weather Center 9 with Chief Meteorologist Steve Udelson, and tracking the temperatures, it's going to be extremely cold in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, so we knew when the Arctic blast got here, we were in for some business. We topped out around lunchtime in the mid-40s, and temperatures have been falling ever since. And at 10 o'clock, we are now below freezing in Charlotte. The only folks at freezing, Rockingham, Chesterfield, and Lancaster. Look at the high country, lower teens right now. When the front came through, we had wind gusts to 70 miles an hour in the mountains and 30 miles an hour in the Charlotte area. They've calmed down some, and they will calm down even more over the next few hours. That's important. We get our coldest nights when winds go calm, the sky is clear, and again, the air is dry. And we're pretty much getting all 3 of those. 19 when you get up tomorrow morning in Charlotte and Concord, 16 in Statesville, 17 Lincoln, Hickory, and how about the high country? Ratings will be in the single digits. Believe it or not, that is not a record. Record is 12. That will be safe. I'll show you if we'll warm it up at all tomorrow.
And we'll continue to pinpoint how cold the temperatures will fall overnight. Be sure to stay with Eyewitness News Daybreak starting at 4:30 a.m. A jury in South Carolina convicted Dylan Roof on all 33 counts in his federal trial. Roof killed 9 people inside a Charleston church last year. We brought you the verdict as breaking news at 5. And new at 10, Eyewitness News reporter Deshaun Brown sat down with one of the victims' relatives.
Latoya Sanders expressed relief, but knows her pain isn't over.
Today was the hardest that it's been since this has happened.
Today, a federal jury found Dylan Roof guilty of 33 crimes, including the murder of her grandaunt, Susie Jackson, her cousin, Tywanza Sanders, and the attempted murders of her aunt and young cousin at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston last June, when 9 people were killed.
Still to this day, I have not spoke to my Aunt Felicia about what happened. I will not talk to her about what happened because that's something she has to live with for the rest of her life. But her strength through all of this has really helped us.
Sanders described the grueling trial process and learning new details from the shooting she never knew before, like today when she listened to the 911 call for the first time.
I listened to it and I heard, the moaning of my cousin and my aunt calling his name. I was shaken, but I felt more of a connection to what happened.
A federal jury deliberated 2 hours before finding Roof guilty, but his ultimate fate, life or death, is still left to be decided.
When you do evil on sacred ground, I don't believe you're there anyway. So why continue to live when you're already dead inside?
Deshaun Brown, Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10.
Roof will represent himself during the sentencing phase that starts after the new year on January 3rd. We have covered every development in this trial and will bring you Roof's sentencing next month. You can find all of our coverage on our website right on the homepage. Right now, a water main in Pineville is still broken, and crews say it might not be fixed until the weekend. We first told you about the repairs on Lancaster Highway near Sam Meeks Road yesterday at 5. Charlotte Water told Channel 9 today it's been a difficult repair. A detour will be in place all weekend long, and repaving will depend on the weather. In the last 3 hours, a vigil was held for a local woman who was stabbed inside a South Charlotte home. Daphne Ellis passed away on Sunday from her injuries. Police say that she was attacked last month by Gerald Moore. Ellis and Moore have a son together, and tonight we spoke with Daphne's sister, devastated that her sister's life ended this way.
My sister was a kind-hearted, warm, protective, spiritual, a great mother.
Moore is now charged with first-degree murder. Tonight, a community is demanding answers after a man was tased by deputies in Stanley County and died. Police say Marlon Lewis called 911 for help. An officer responded to Dewey and Mayo Streets, where they say Lewis was in an agitated state. There was a struggle. 2 deputies deployed tasers. Shortly after, Lewis was dead. Tonight, friends and family questioned the chief of police on the department's policies and asked for the mayor's support in their quest to see body camera footage.
Would you stand with us when we petition the court for that information, for that footage?
The mayor said that she would help the family get information. The SBI is handling the case. Tomorrow, both the Senate and the House will return to Raleigh to wrap up North Carolina's surprise special session. Today, Democrats, including Governor-elect Roy Cooper, blasted Republicans for trying to use their supermajority to strip his office of power before he takes office. He says the move will hurt school funding, the fairness of elections, and the environment. And Cooper is prepared to fight.
I believe that laws passed by the legislature hurt working families and are unconstitutional. They will see me in court. And they don't have a very good track record there.
The Senate passed the controversial bill today, sending it to the House. Police arrested as many as 17 protesters who interrupted that special session. Demonstrators were kicked out of both the House and Senate chambers. They chanted, "You work for us," and all political power comes from the people. New tonight, the Major League Soccer Commission announced cities that have expressed interest in a professional team, which includes Charlotte, have until the end of January to apply. Applications must be in by January 31st of 2017. There's a proposal to renovate Memorial Stadium in Elizabeth and turn it into a professional soccer field. The project would cost $24 million and be split between the city, county, and Charlotte Independent soccer team. We're staying on top of breaking news. 3 separate shooting scenes across Charlotte all happened within 10 minutes. Around 7:15 tonight, police say 4 people were shot on Spring Garden Lane. 1 was pronounced dead on the scene. A second died at the hospital. A third was taken to the hospital, and a 4th drove to a separate location where they were then also taken to the hospital. Police say the suspect knew the victims. Less than 10 minutes later in University, 2 people were shot at the 400 block of Michelle Linnea Drive. Both were taken to the hospital. Police say they don't believe this is connected to the other shooting. We're asking police what led up to both shootings and if they have anyone in custody. A Charlotte businessman charged with defrauding local investors out of $19 million. The clients he's accused of targeting and the way officials say he used his church in the scheme. Plus, a local soldier returns home from overseas. The happy surprise reunion with his children just in time for the holidays. We're staying on top of breaking news. 2 people are dead, 4 others hurt after separate shootings in Charlotte. This is a live look at Spring Garden Lane and Pondella Drive in Northeast Charlotte, where 2 people were killed and 2 others hurt in a shooting around 7:15 tonight. Police say the suspect and the victims knew one another and were in an altercation when the shooting occurred. They are not looking for any additional suspects. In University, less than 10 minutes later, 2 people were shot in the 400 block of Michelle Linnea Drive. Both were taken to the hospital. Police say they don't believe this is connected to the other shooting. New at 10, a Charlotte businessman under arrest and charged in a $19 million scheme. Officials say Richard Wyatt Davis Jr. defrauded more than 100 investors of more than $19 million. Eyewitness News anchor Erica Bryant breaks down the shocking accusations made against him.
Federal officials are saying that Davis preyed on potential clients all throughout the Charlotte area and that he even recruited them from his own church.
He was regarded as an outstanding business person, very civically engaged.
In 2011, Richard Wyatt Davis Jr. was named Business Person of the Year by Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce.
It was for his activities in the business community at the time, and his generosity toward the citizens and those people that were needing some help in Haiti.
But according to federal officials, at that time, he was in the middle of orchestrating a massive Ponzi scheme. A federal indictment accuses Davis of defrauding more than 100 investors of more than $19 million from 2005 to 2016. The indictment says he told clients their money was invested in things like real estate and gold mines and that it was safer than the stock market. Many investors rolled over their entire 401k retirement savings into his funds. But in reality, the feds say very little of the money was ever invested. And that Davis used the funds to support a lavish lifestyle, including paying off his credit cards, his mortgage, nannies, a groundskeeper, personal chef, vehicles, and significant cash withdrawals. The indictment accuses Davis of preying on potential clients in and around Charlotte who were wary of the government and banking systems, recruiting people at survivalist and prepper conventions, as well as professional athletes and even people from his own church.
Our thoughts go out to those people who might have been injured in this type of activity.
Tonight, Davis is in the Mecklenburg County Jail where he will stay until his next court appearance next week. Now, that court appearance will determine if he will stay behind bars as he awaits trial. If convicted on all the counts, Davis could face up to 85 years in prison and more than $2 million in fines.
Thanks, Erica. New tonight, Charlotte School of Law has a few more days to submit its plan to get off probation. It had until today to give the American Bar Association a, quote, reliable plan moving forward. The ABA is now giving the school until next Thursday to do so. It claims the school accepts students too easily and is not preparing them to become lawyers. Tonight, road crews in our mountain communities are preparing for the winter blast. Our meteorologists have trekked all week. The DOT is expecting wind chills at or below zero. In Blowing Rock, gusty conditions sent wind chill values into the single digits. Along the Highway 321 road widening project, construction workers kept nearly every part of their bodies covered. Chief Meteorologist Steve Yulson joins us in Severe Weather Center 9, tracking those temps, and those folks up in the mountains, they are excited about it.
They are, Allison, because of this. This is a snow gun, and it is really adding some snow depth to the bases out across the ski country this weekend. They are getting ready for it as we continue to get closer. Just some high clouds outside right now, nothing falling from the sky. It is too dry for that for sure. You are certainly going to need to cover up first thing tomorrow morning with temperatures falling into the upper teens. We'll be in the mid-20s at 9 a.m. with, again, just a few wispy high clouds. Cloud covers actually forecast to thicken up as we head through the day tomorrow. Here we are at lunchtime. You see sort of a thin veil, which will actually thicken up even more as we head through the afternoon. I believe by sunset, it's going to be fairly cloudy outside, which is not good news because we get our warmth from seeing the sun. So we'll be in the middle 20s early on tomorrow morning and then start their climb from there. We're looking at readings onto the upper 30s as we head through tomorrow afternoon. A few neighborhoods south and east of Charlotte, down toward Monroe, Rockingham, Chesterfield, Chester. You'll probably see readings of about 40 or better. This kind of chill, of course, got a lot of questions. How about our coat drive this year? It is on. It's coming after the holiday, so get ready to go through your coats. You can head to stevescoatsforkids.com to find out the dates and the drop-off location. Some of the barrels are already out. In Kannapolis, frigid. Temperatures mid-20s early on, only rising to the upper 30s during the afternoon tomorrow. Chesterfield has a better shot of seeing lower 40s. Skies cloud over, but we will stay dry. And up in Blowing Rock, lived up to its reputation today with wind gusts over 50 miles an hour. Winds will be a lot lighter tomorrow. Unfortunately, the chill will still be here. Temperatures only rising into the mid-20s. Heading to Christmastown, USA tomorrow night. It will be cold, but you know what? Probably not quite as cold as tonight with less wind and the cloud cover. We're actually going to keep some of the warmth around tomorrow. Temperatures only slowly fall back into the 30s. Here's our futurecast tomorrow night. Oh, look at this. First time this season, we're seeing those shades of pink. That's the possibility of some freezing drizzle, mainly south and east of Charlotte, very late tomorrow night. It is not long lasting, and in fact, much of Saturday will actually be just off and on shower activity. So as far as the winter weather goes, I don't really think it's a big deal. Patches of freezing drizzle, temperatures will be in the lower 30s. Impacts on the road, very, very slim, if at all. As we head through the weekend, we are going to talk about a dramatic warm-up. Lower 50s by Saturday afternoon, and in the 60s come Sunday. 5-day forecast. Talking about the chill early on and then a very nice warm up into the weekend and a pretty decent dose of rain as well. We're going to talk about at 10:30 how much rain to expect from this next system. Keep in mind, we are still over 7 inches below average.
Wow, so we do need that rain
Absolutely,
this weekend.
yeah.
Okay, thanks, Steve. It's been a year of hope, strength, gratitude, and perseverance. And this holiday season, we want to share stories that will inspire you. Join anchors Erica Bryant and Stephanie Maxwell for a 1-hour primetime special, our 9 Family Focus Holiday of Hope. It begins at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on Channel 9. A warning to holiday shoppers, knockoffs disguised as apps for your favorite stores. Action 9 found out how to spot them before they steal your information. 24 dogs hoarded, locked up with almost no human contact. Now 2 local women are teaching them how to love.
None of these dogs have had a normal dog life. They don't know how to act like a dog.
New tonight, the rescue that saved their lives and the hours of emotional healing they now receive. Plus, a confirmed case of mumps at a local university, the warning to students possibly exposed to the highly contagious disease. Winthrop University students are being told to watch their health over the holiday break. State officials confirmed a case of mumps on campus. The notice said anyone on campus between December 8th and yesterday may have been exposed. Health officials won't say if the person who got the virus is a student. Campus officials urged everyone to watch for symptoms such as swollen glands, fever, headache, and muscle ache. New video tonight of a very happy reunion between two CMS students and their military father just home from Afghanistan. Big hugs there. You can see the happy reunion at Elon Park Elementary School today. CMS says the kid's dad was posing as the school's guest speaker. Welcome back. New at 10, we are learning more about a Good Samaritan who jumped in to help save Christmas presents from a mail truck that burst into flames. We told you about the incident in Wake Forest on Tuesday. Remember this? This video is just crazy. Tonight, Derek Brown says that he was driving his son to school when they noticed something was wrong. Brown ran over to help the postal worker pull packages from the burning truck. Dozens of dogs found locked in closets, chained to furniture.
None of these dogs have had a normal dog life. They don't know how to act like a dog.
The touching efforts tonight to help those dogs that were rescued from hoarders. Plus, we are staying on top of breaking news in Charlotte, where 6 people were shot, 2 killed. 3 separate scenes in less than 10 minutes. Our coverage continues as police work to determine what led up to the deadly shots.
Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10:30.
We are staying on top of major breaking news happening in Charlotte. I'm Allison Lottis in the Breaking News Center, where we are monitoring 3 separate shooting scenes that left 2 people dead, 4 others with life-threatening injuries in less than 10 minutes. This all started around 7:17 tonight when medic was called to Spring Garden Lane in Northeast Charlotte. 1 person was pronounced dead on the scene. A second died at the hospital. 2 others were injured. One of those victims was transported to the hospital. The other drove to this Shell station at West Sugar Creek and I-85 for help. Medic transported and treated that person, taking them to the hospital as well. Police say all of the victims and the suspect knew one another, and they are not looking for additional suspects. Meanwhile, less than 10 minutes later in University, medic was called to the 400 block of Michelle Linnea Drive. 2 people were transported to CMC with life-threatening injuries from that scene. Police say at this point it appears the situations are not connected to either of those crime scenes. We're asking police tonight for information about the suspects. If anyone is in custody, we'll have crews monitoring all 3 scenes, and we will bring you new information on what we learn coming up on Eyewitness News at 11. Right now, Arctic temperatures are moving in from the mountains, pushing into Charlotte, and you will wake up to winter chill in your neighborhood. We're tracking a huge drop in temperatures happening overnight tonight. So let's turn over to Chief Meteorologist Steve Udelson, pinpointing how cold it will be when you walk out the door tomorrow morning.
Allison, we are already colder than we typically are when you get up in the morning. We've got clear skies, dry air, and light winds, the perfect combination to cool it on down. 15 in Boone, 13 in Jefferson. Wind chills close to 0 right now. And along the I-40 corridor, we're down to the mid-20s from Morganton over to Statesville. Only Rock Hill, Lancaster, Wadesboro, and Chesterfield are above freezing. Everyone else is below. Winds are actually still pretty gusty in the Charlotte area, blowing at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, adding to the chill. Notice Jefferson has actually seen the winds calm. The calmer winds will spread over the rest of us overnight tonight, and that's what allows temperatures to tank. Upper teens to near 20 when you get up tomorrow morning, in single digits as you hit on out toward the high country. Again, you're going to want to layer up. We are going to be shy of the record low tomorrow morning, but it is still unusually cold for sure. And kids at the bus stop need to cover as much as they possibly can. Even at 8 a.m. as the kids get into school, we're only in the lower 20s.
And we'll continue to monitor the temperatures overnight as they continue to plummet. Be sure to watch Eyewitness News Daybreak starting at 4:30. For the first time, Channel 9 spoke one-on-one with Charlotte's new city manager, Marcus Jones. Eyewitness News reporter Joe Bruno learned more about Jones' past and the reasoning behind some of his first big decisions for Charlotte.
That's good. New city manager Marcus Jones says the challenges Charlotte is facing aren't new to him, and he'll have a familiar face to help figure them out. In one of his first moves as city manager, Marcus Jones helped bring on Sabrina Joy Hogg, his former top deputy.
How serious were other candidates for this position considered?
Sabrina, she rose to the top, and we are very happy to have her come on board.
Jones and Joy Hogg worked very closely in Norfolk. Channel 9 uncovered over a period of 6 months, they called each other 886 times. That's 4 times as many phone calls as he had with his next deputy. 99 of those phone calls took place during 9 p.m. and midnight. 30 phone calls happened on state holidays.
What was the nature of those phone calls?
So what we really do is we have, one individual who really takes information from the manager and is able to spread it throughout the entire organization.
Why did you rely on her more than your other deputies?
Well, she is the chief deputy and the budget director.
But she wasn't chief deputy city manager during the time frame of these phone records. Still, Jones says he's going to rely on her even more, and that people shouldn't be concerned that the top 2 people in the city aren't from Charlotte.
While I may be from Norfolk, or the deputy may be from Norfolk, we're going to be a team.
Joe Bruno, Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10.
And we've been looking into the new city manager and what your tax dollars are paying for months. You'll remember Marcus Jones' base pay is set at $300,000. That's 22% higher than former city manager Ron Carley's salary. We've been told he is being paid more because of his experience. You will find all of our past coverage on the hiring of Marcus Jones and Joe's interview at WSOC-TV.com. New at 10:30, police say a man suspected in multiple attacks at Duke University is now connected to another crime. Yesterday at 5, we told you Samuel Hasty is accused of robbing a woman last week and robbing and sexually assaulting another woman last month. Now Hasty is also charged in a car theft last month. He denies the attacks but says he hears voices telling him to hurt people. A Rock Hill man is charged with repeatedly sexually assaulting underage girls. According to our partners at the Herald, Aaron Walker is facing multiple charges of criminal sexual conduct with a minor. Walker was arrested yesterday in 3 separate incidents dating back to November. Tonight, the FBI has joined a growing investigation into the massive hack of Yahoo. Last night at 10, we told you information from 1 billion user accounts was compromised. Anchor Scott Wickersham joins us with the steps you can take to protect your information.
Well, the hack is so big and stretches over so many years, chances are if you have or had a Yahoo account, you're impacted by this. The hackers got usernames, phone numbers, and other personal information. They did not get credit card or bank data because Yahoo stores those separately. Well, users, Yahoo says, need to act now. Experts say you should change your password and do so often. Don't use the same password anywhere else and don't use common passwords.
In some of the biggest breaches they've analyzed and they've taken the top passwords, and I don't want to say they're comical, but they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, password 1, 2, 3.
You can also look for any suspicious activity in your Yahoo email and be aware of follow-up scammers, people posing as Yahoo who offer to help to secure your data. We have more information about the breach and what experts say you should do if your account's affected. Just look for this story under the News tab.
New developments. The city of Sanford will hold a second Christmas parade this weekend after the first event was cut short by a shooting. Last night, City Council voted to approve the plans after an outpouring of support from the community. 2 teenagers were injured when the gunfire erupted about 50 feet away from the first parade route. 1 man is facing several charges in connection with the shooting. New at 10:30, police are searching for an inmate they say escaped from custody after assaulting a Cumberland County deputy. Authorities say Edward Moore was in custody for robbery with a dangerous weapon when he took a taser from deputies, then stole a van and drove off. Authorities say they found the van, but they are still looking for Moore. He is considered armed and dangerous. South Carolina investigators are trying to figure out whether a fatal shooting was justified. Police say that a man claims he returned to his home in Pickens County Wednesday and discovered a man breaking in. According to police, he says he then struggled with the alleged burglar, eventually wrestling away a gun and firing several shots at him. They look like great apps offering deals and savings for places you shop and brands you like. But Action 9 investigator Jason Stujanki found many are fake and criminals are behind them.
Some of the apps are very believable. Do you worry about it?
Definitely, yeah.
But ABC News found fake apps for UGG, Dillard's, Zappos, New Balance, and Dollar Tree. In fact, Dollar Tree told me it doesn't even have an app. Some fakes are a tad easier to spot because the names are slightly off. One national media outlet picked up on Footlock instead of Footlocker, and Overstock Inc. instead of Overstock.com.
You have to be cautious of what apps you do download.
While some shoppers trust Apple's filters over Android's,
if it's not on the Apple Store, I don't download it.
Cybersecurity expert Joe Gervais says, still be careful either way. He says go to a retailer's own website to find its official app, download it from there, and pay close attention to what information it asks you for.
If it's asking to share your contacts and have access to your photos, and it's supposed to be a coupon app to give you shopping discounts, that's kind of a red flag.
Otherwise, you could end up with malware or ransomware instead of good deals. Jason Stujanki, Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10.
Gervais also says click on the publisher, which is listed under the app's name. If this is its only app, that's a red flag too. Thousands of children in 2 local counties are receiving Christmas gifts this year thanks to the generosity of others. The Salvation Army kicked off its annual toy distribution this morning in South Charlotte. Toys were given away to some very grateful families in need from Mecklenburg and Union counties.
Makes a big difference when you grew up with nothing and you get something so great, so big.
Gifts are also being given out to more than 1,300 senior citizens. 2 teens suspected of starting the deadly wildfires in Gatlinburg, Tennessee could go to prison for 60 years if convicted. Right now, they're both in Sevier County Detention Center. If prosecutors decide to file more serious charges like first-degree murder, they could face life in prison. 14 people died in the fires that started last month.
Well, we have seen a fair amount of chill over the last couple of days. We've also still been dealing with the drought. I'll show you the update and whether or not it's gotten any better.
Dozens of dogs locked in closets and chained to furniture in a local home. The extreme challenges to rehabilitate them. We're turning back to breaking news. 2 people are dead, 4 others hurt after separate shootings in Charlotte. This is a live look at Spring Garden Lane in Northeast Charlotte, where 2 people were killed and 2 others hurt in the shooting around 7:15 tonight. Police say the suspect and the victims knew one another and were involved in an altercation when the shooting occurred. They are not looking for any additional suspects. In University, less than 10 minutes later, 2 people were shot in the 400 block of Michelle Linnea Drive. Both were taken to the hospital. Police say they don't believe this is connected to the other shooting. We're asking police for information about suspects. We'll have new information on what we learn on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock. A local rescue group is facing a serious challenge right now, finding the best way to help nearly 24 dogs taken from a severe hoarding situation. The group's volunteers are used to saving dogs from shelters and the streets, but as you're about to see, helping dogs from hoarders is even more difficult.
Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. No.
Mary McGrath can spend an hour at a time just doing this.
You're a good boy, Nick.
Trying to get Nick to relax, to respond, to trust. At just a year old, Nick is so withdrawn he won't even look at her. Until 2 months ago, he lived his entire life with hoarders, locked in a pen, hardly any human contact. So did his brother Jack, and Haley, and Lizbeth, who may look like she's panting. She's actually shaking.
You know, their whole life has been suffering. None of these dogs have had a normal dog life. They don't know how to act like a dog.
These dogs and 19 others were all rescued by the Forever Angels Rescue Group from 2 elderly women who live in a trailer.
They keep some in their closet, and sometimes they chain them to the couch just to keep them from going out the door. And you know, they have no idea really that they're harming the dogs.
I'm sure they have the best of intentions, but
Allison Ward has been a Forever Angels volunteer for 6 years and thought she'd seen it all until she encountered these hoarder dogs.
This is just a whole nother situation where the dogs are just terrified and don't even know how to be a dog.
She's currently fostering Lizbeth,
and says the simple interaction you see here hasn't come easy.
This is the result of a lot of attention.
Haley has come a long way too.
Want to go for a ride?
Still skittish, but she's adapting.
Come on, baby.
And so is Jack, who frightens easily, trying to figure out a whole new world. These dogs aren't used to being outside, and for now, the volunteers don't remove the leashes, worried they won't be able to get close enough to put them back on.
Yeah, I know, it's scary. It's scary.
Human touch still makes these dogs nervous, but none more so than Nick. Back in that quiet room, Mary is still working on him. His preferred spot is his crate, away from people.
That's your safe spot.
But she's certain that someday this scared and confused boy can be a happy, healthy, normal dog.
Success would be him allowing human touch and maybe even asking for it. I think it's doable. It just got to have a lot of patience.
Those volunteers don't know much more about those two women who had the dogs, but they have alerted authorities to try to get help for them, and they believe the women still have more dogs. If you're looking to help the dogs, we've put information on our website at WSOC-TV.com. Click 9 Investigates and look for this story. Tonight, more than half of the country is facing a bitter winter blast. The air outside feels like 30 degrees below zero in parts of the Midwest. On the West Coast, a rare snowstorm left thousands of people stranded during the commute in Portland, Oregon. Chief Meteorologist Steve Edelson joins us in Severe Weather Center 9. We're dipping down pretty low, but it's not going to last that long.
No, Allison, we're actually going to get just a glancing blow from this Arctic blast, which is going to affect folks all the way down to the Gulf Coast in Florida. Highs tomorrow barely get out of the upper 30s, but we are going to see a quick warm up into the weekend. By Sunday, it's going to feel more like fall. We'll be into the mid 60s, and we may even hear the rumble of thunder as a cold front comes in, and then it's right back down over the early part of next week. So some pretty big temperature swings heading our way. Temperatures by morning, there's no sugarcoating this. Upper teens to about 20. This is about 20 degrees colder than we should be this time of year, and in the single digits over the mountains. Futurecast tomorrow, we will start out with some sun, and then the clouds begin to gradually thicken up as we head through the day. By late in the afternoon, it may look actually fairly menacing outside. Most of us probably not seeing a sunset. The clouds are thick enough for that. And by this time tomorrow evening, maybe a couple spotty light patches of drizzle. And again, it will be cold enough it may be freezing south and east of town. Friday's forecast, the clouds thicken up. Again, after that cold start, we'll reach the upper 30s to about 40 degrees. Best shot of hitting 40, of course, will be south of Charlotte as the clouds do manage to thicken up. Monroe will be right around 40 at 3 in the afternoon in spite of that bone-chilling start. In Mint Hill, forecasting highs also right around 40. And again, we will start to see the clouds thicken up even more tomorrow night. On Sunday, we're going to see another batch of rain coming our way, and by then we are going to be way too warm even in the mountains for anything but rain, and that rain pushes in during the afternoon and into the early evening as well, maybe continuing into the overnight hours. So with the weekend always in view, Saturday just spots of drizzle. That's actually the better of the 2 weekend days for our outdoor plans because we're going to, even though start cool, we'll warm to the lower 50s. Sunday, a much better chance for rain, but temperatures will warm well into the 60s. As far as rainfall totals go, not much on Saturday, but on Sunday we could easily see a half an inch of rain or more. Welcome news when you consider that our rain deficit's still over 7 inches, and even with this drought update, Charlotte area is still considered in moderate drought, severe drought over the upstate and the southwest mountains of North Carolina and on into the foothills as well. So we could still use the rainfall, and that's what's going to be heading our way on Sunday. 5-day forecast talking about the chill over the next few days. Again, on Saturday, maybe a spot or two of freezing rain very, very early in the morning. It's really not going to amount to much, and then we'll just warm it up from there. Sunday, the better shot of a more meaningful rain.
Yeah, what a little roller coaster with the temps we're on for the next
yeah.
few days. Thanks, Steve. We'll be right back.
Follow us on Twitter to keep up with breaking news, weather, and all the top stories of the day. Join the conversation and tweet us at WSOC-TV.
It's not Josh Norman against the Carolina Panthers on Monday night. He's just one piece of one unit. And as Greg Olson said, guys move teams all the time. But this one sure feels different. And Josh Norman is a different kind of guy. Competitive, passionate, talkative. He knows Cam Newton will be gunning for him. Cam knows he knows, but you know, after the way things ended in Carolina, Josh wants to have the last word with a big game on Monday Night Football.
Olsen, who has 3 touchdowns in 3 career games against the Bears, his former team, talked about how much it may mean to Josh to show out against the Panthers.
You know, you want to beat them, you want to play well, you want to prove them wrong. So I get it. You know, I think, you know, look around this locker room, a lot of guys have played on other teams. That's kind of become a norm in the NFL these days.
One of North Carolina's most prolific pass catchers is back on the market. Big 22 player to watch Sage Surratt has reopened his recruitment after committing to Harvard in October. Surratt is now considering 3 North Carolina schools, UNC, Duke, and Wake Forest, in addition to the Crimson. The Lincolnton Star is North Carolina's all-time leading receiver in catches, yards, and touchdowns. Sage's brother Chaz Surratt is a quarterback at UNC, and the two are very close. Sage will take an official visit to Wake Forest next month. About the only good thing you can say about this Hornets road trip is that it's almost over. Of course, they still have a back-to-back against a formidable pair of opponents. It was another discouraging loss last night to the middling Washington Wizards. Certainly any team presents a challenge during Game 3 of a 5-game road swing, but the Wizards were certainly beatable. And the 10-point advantage the Hornets built was evidence of that. But a disastrous third quarter did them in. It was the same story in Indianapolis, fighting to a lead only to have it slip away.
For us, when we're defending really well, that's kind of how we build a lead. When we stop defending, that's how teams are able to get back in the game. And I think that's what happened to us the last 2 games. You know, take nothing away from Washington or Indiana. They played really well, but we had an opportunity to win both of those games.
Stephen Curry got in the holiday spirit today during shoot-around before the Warriors played the Knicks at Oracle Arena. The Charlotte native and back-to-back league MVP invited 14 Make-A-Wish kids to meet the team, the coaching staff, and participate in a shooting clinic. And finally, longtime Turner Sports NBA sideline reporter Craig Sager has passed away after a long battle with a rare form of leukemia. He underwent 3 bone marrow transplants as part of a fierce fight against the disease. Across the league tonight, teams held a moment of silence in his honor. Really sad day.
Yeah, he fought hard.
We've got some chill, of course, overnight tonight and tomorrow, but a quick warm-up into the weekend, and between the two, pretty good dose of rain, most of that falling on Sunday.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for making us your choice tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. Stay warm.
Erica's mic check. Erica's mic check. Erica's mic check.
People
Check.
be getting shot. People need to stop
check,
shooting each other.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
Let me have you step out this way.
Okay.
So we can. Somebody's cold.
Erica's mic check. Erica's mic check. You guys hear me?